Hey everybody, I am going to try something new here. I've got a new video camera and it is waterproof and shockproof and dustproof. And I had this camera for a while, but I thought I'll get it out and give it a try. It is raining out right now. I'm walking around in the rain. Look at the fog way back there in the blueberry field. I'm going to walk out here and see how this camera works. I used to use it and I forgot all about it. Let's see what it does. Let's see if it's very jolty. So I'm going to walk out to the botanical garden here. So here is the future flowers that are going to bloom this spring. Right here. And the rose garden. The yucca. This is the coneflower garden right here. Absolutely gorgeous this past year. Let's go, and this is a rhododendron, and the deer loved it, but they can't get in here no more. More roses. There is the blueberry field right in there. More roses here. Let's see, I even forget what I planted here. What is this? Magnolia. Whoa, nice. I have a magnolia. I forgot all about it. Let's see here. So over here is the another old flower garden here I planted a long time ago. There's supposed to be host in here, but the animals love the host, especially the groundhogs and deer. And this is the iris garden right here. And this will be the third year that irises have been planted here. Hopefully they'll bloom this coming year. I like propagating forsythias. This is small forsythia right here. And hopefully that will get bigger. Look at the fog back there. Wow. So let's see, we'll try something here. I have a zoom on this camera. Let's see what happens. Let's see. I'm just going to stand here and zoom in. And look at the fog as I'm zooming in. And I'll zoom out. I'm not even going to walk back there today. Alright. This is a whole new garden right here. And there's the fields over here. It's a very wet last day of 2022. New Year's Eve day. Look at how the deer bash the fence in like that. Isn't that something how they do that? Alright, so I am just trying this camera out. I'm going to head back so it's starting to get pretty wet. And I'll find out how this video, if I like it. I know this camera does beautiful widescreen video. I like these pine trees. I left them here. They attract lots of birds, and they love to hang out in these cedar trees. Now, cedars take a long time to grow. So this whole farm at one time was a huge cattle farm. The history of it. And it was divided up in the 1960s. And this became a blueberry farm. And it was in operation. There was all greenhouses on this property. And the original owner even became well known for growing tomatoes the hydroponic way, which means no soil, just fertilizer type water. And it was a write-up somewhere in the local newspaper. I would love to find that. Maybe I'll look for it one day. And that was back in the 1970s, and he had 16 employees working here. So it was a really, really prosperous farm. And his last idea was a really good one. It was plant a whole blueberry farm here on the back of this farm here. And as you can see, it is still here. And there's hundreds and hundreds of blueberry plants on this farm. And as you hear the stories I tell, this was all wild. I'll stand under this beautiful city while I'm talking. This was a whole wild grown-in farm. I heard the owner passed away in 2004. Nothing was done with this farm since then, all the way up to 2017 when they decided to sell off this farm. And it was in horrible shape. It was not taken care of. And when I came here and saw this, I had a vision. I saw a beautiful piece of ground here, a beautiful old farm. And I know a lot of people said, "Well, Larry, what are you going to do with this rundown, junky farm that you bought this? I can't believe it," they would say to me. And I said, no, I got ideas. And yeah, here it is. I did this mostly all by myself, cleaning this out. And I didn't have the money to buy a tractor. I'm luckily very handy and mechanically inclined, so I had that going for me. And I, from working with the parks department, I learned a lot about equipment and what to use on certain pieces of ground. And I managed to buy a walk-behind brush hog. Well, first of all, a sickle bar, walk-behind sickle bar, and they're fine, but when you have grass that's higher than this, going up to here, the sickle bar will cut down the grass and brush, but it would just lay down. It wouldn't chop it up, and that became a real nuisance. But it was a good way to start. I bought that walk-behind Troy-Bill brush hog for $25, and the guy said it don't run. But I was excited. I know I can get that thing going. I thought to myself, so I brought it home and dumped some gas in it, and it started right up. I was very excited about that. So I managed to start sickle barring, walking by hand behind sickle bar, and I did part of this property up by the house. But I knew that wasn't going to be good. So I kept looking on the internet, and I found a walk-behind brush hog, and it was an old model, and I bought that for really cheap, and it needed a carburetor work, and I got that running. And I took that out here, and it just chopped up. See, like things like this, the cedar, it chopped that right down. And that's what I cleaned out this whole property with. I eventually made my way in more and more in this whole property. And it chopped down all the brush. And I had a chainsaw, an old chainsaw, and a hand pruner, and that's how I cleaned this property up. So I'm gonna head in, and a neighbor across the street, I said, "You know anybody who's got a used tractor? I really like to get one for cheap though. I don't care if it needs work." And he said, "Yes, I do. This is it right here, my New Holland TC33." And I drove this thing for miles on the road to get it to the farm here, and that was scary because it had no way of knowing how it was going to run. And I think I'm zooming in on this thing. Let's see here. Oops, let me get back. No, I guess not. Okay. And here it is, and it had a really bad trench leak on the back here. And I thought, well, I'll just keep dumping oil in until I get a chance to afford to buy a better tractor. But it turned out all it was a rear end seal. And I took that off and I got it sealed up really nice. And then I bought the very old Woods brush hog, and that is what really helped me clean up this property. And I bought other equipment later on to open up my fields and farm the ground. And this is my latest this year, is the Ford 9N or 2N. Everybody argues with me about that, but I don't care. It's a neat tractor, and it's old, and I should really paint it, but I love the old look of this tractor. And so I'm going to head in because it's starting to rain even harder. So I'll just go under here a minute. Alright. So I built this barn here, and I wanted to put my tractors in there. All I had was that small shed you see over there behind the gate there. That wasn't enough. And you know how it goes. You fill up a shed really fast. Everybody calls this a barn, I call it a shed, whatever you want to call it. And it's my own design. And I built another one later on. And that's where I keep my equipment in now. I'd love to put the tractors in there. I did at first, but it's got my antique Bronco 2 in there that I bought when I was 27 years old. So anyway, this coming year, hopefully it'll be a better year, and I'm going to continue with the botanical garden. And I am managing to keep the deer out pretty good now. Let's see what happens in the spring. So that's it, everybody. I'm testing out this camera today, see how it works, and give you an update on the blueberry farm. So my camera is wet. It doesn't matter because they say it's watertight. So that's it for now. It's a little bit of a talking tour of the blueberry farm and history. One day I'll put on all the pictures I took what this place used to look like when I first bought it back in 2017. And I can't believe it myself when I look at those pictures. Alright everybody, thanks for stopping by. Stop by again soon. Please like, share, and subscribe, and see you soon on the blueberry farm on this channel. Bye for now.